In this video, we're going to make buffers and set control zones around properties infected early in the 2007 equine influenza outbreak. So I've started to set up my project already with a Google hybrid layer underlay, and I've added in the mainland's boundary around that in grey, and the points from the Maitland dataset in yellow, which were added from the CSV file as a delimited text layer. Next, we're going to colour the points by their status. So right click on the points layer, click properties, go to categorized symbols, select the layer as status and classify. Now you can see that it's automatically coloured those points. So double clicking on IP, you can set the colour of the IPs to red. The dangerous control premises, let's make them orange. The suspect premises, we might make those guys yellow. And although there are no other premises in the dataset, it leaves a space for blank premises there. We'll turn them off. The next thing is we would like the IPs mapped at the highest level, so on top of dangerous control premises and suspect premises. So head down to advanced symbol levels, enable the symbol levels, and then you set the order of these. So the lower the number, the first thing that is plotted. So if you make IP 2 and dangerous control premises 1, it will plot these so that on top you can see the red infected premises are sitting on top of any dangerous contact premises, and the dangerous contact premises, where they overlap, are sitting above suspect premises. Next, we're going to select only the infected premises, so right click on the layer, open attribute table, then select this button to select features using an expression, and in the box type IP equals yes, as follows. Push select, and you'll see in the background that it's selected just the IPs, and close attribute table at this point. And to make the buffer, head to the vector menu, geoprocessing tools, buffers. Ensure that the layer you want to buffer around is the Maitland points. Use only the selected features, ensure that's crossed. Increase the segments to approximate to 20, which just makes the buffer more round. And in the buffer distance, put in 0.1, which is approximately 10 kilometers. Select dissolve buffer results to make just one layer of all the buffers together, especially where they're overlapping. Then click browse to enter a name for your shapefile. And save, and push OK. At this point, it's made your buffers, but it's placed them above the Maitland points. So we'll just drag the Maitland points back above the buffers like so. Then everything looks a bit strange because all of the IPs that you've selected are shown in yellow. So if you come up here, you select the deselect features from all layers button, you'll see that your IPs are now red. So the next step is to recolor your buffers. So double click on the buffers layer and set the color to red and the transparency to about 50%. And then we have restricted areas around all of our IPs. So if we zoom into somewhere exciting, like northwest Sydney, you can see what we've got there. Nice, roughly 10 kilometre control zones around each of the infected premises. And you can see the relationship between your dangerous contracts and any of the suspect premises if they're in yellow. Next, we're going to demarcate a control area, roughly another 10 k's around the outside of the restricted area that you've made, and we'll follow some natural boundaries to make the rest of the shape. So just zoom out a little. Then we'll make a new layer by clicking Layer, Create Layer, New Shapefile Layer. Importantly, select polygon for the type so that you can put polygons into it. You can select the coordinate reference system, we'll leave that as is at this stage, and then give the layer a name. So here's our new layer. First thing to do is set the colours of that. Let's set that to yellow with a 50% transparency. Push OK. And we want our control areas to sit below the restricted areas and the points in our view. So we'll grab the Maitland points and bring them above the control areas. And then grab the buffers and put them above the control areas layer that's empty at this stage. If you right click that layer and click toggle editing, some buttons will become available here on the toolbar for editing. One of these is the add feature button. So if you select that, you can start clicking around in the space, and if you right click and give a number, it will save your feature as a new feature in that layer. If we didn't like the feature we just made, whilst you're editing, you can open the attribute table, select the feature and press delete, and it'll disappear. So let's mark out a control zone more or less 10 kilometers out from the restricted area and following some natural boundaries. And surrounding all of the IPs in our area. Right click, give that thing a number, and there you go. There's your restricted areas with your control zone around it, following some natural boundaries. Of course, if you need to, you can zoom in really close. Then you can set out a really high resolution control area polygon using key road intersections and natural boundaries so that it's really clear to relay that to the public.